from the Cretaceous period, and a dinosaur just used our time machine as a bathroom, and we figured we'd call you because we wondered if you wanted some samples.
Hi guys, my caller ID was going really crazy there for a minute.
Yeah, I think that's what happens when you call from a time machine. But yeah, Kate just caught you up to speed on our situation. We've got dino poop everywhere. I'm a little grossed out right now, but Kate says you won't be. Can you tell us maybe who you are and what you do and why you're so excited about dino poop?
Yeah, I'm a student and I studied the coprolites of plant-eating dinosaurs. Coprolites are really important because they show us what dinosaurs ate.
So, I told Becky earlier that coprolites are fossilized dino dung, but, it's kind of strange to me because I just want to know how exactly that process happens.
Well, when an animal poops, the poop sits on the ground. It gets invaded by all sorts of critters like insects and fungi and can even be stepped on by big animals. The poop has to be buried before it's completely destroyed by all of these things. The best way for it to be buried is for it to be covered by water. Once it's buried really deep, minerals in the dirt and water and then the poop itself slowly crystallize, turning it into a fossil. The poop of meat-eating animals is more likely to become a fossil because it's full of bones that contain minerals that help fossilize the poop.
Where do you find these things? Do you have to look somewhere specifically? Or, for all of our listeners at home right now, could they maybe go out in the backyard and dig up some dinosaur poop? Is that something that happens?
Well, to find coprolites or any other fossils, you have to look in rocks that are the right age. A lot of times your backyard is full of dirt that's really recent, so you have to find rocks that are really old. And if you want to find dinosaur coprolites, you also have to look at rocks that were formed on land. Usually these rocks were formed in places that used to be rivers or the banks of rivers.
So basically you're saying we have to find some really old rocks, some really old dirt. Kate, I feel like we need to go on an expedition when we get back to a super old rock quarry and dig up some of our dino poop of our own.
Nicole, can you tell us some places maybe around the world where there have been coprolites that have been found?
Yeah, there have been coprolites found all over the world. The coprolites that I studied were found in Utah. And there are also dinosaur coprolites found in Montana and lots of other places in the western United States.
But I think it's time we get to the real question here. Do you actually want us to bring back samples of the stuff that's all over our time machine right now, of this actual dino poop? I mean, is that useful to you?
Of course. If you look at coprolites under a microscope, you can see tiny pieces of what the dinosaur ate. If the dinosaur was a meat eater, you might see pieces of bone. And if it was a plant eater, you might see crushed up plant parts. We can look at these bits and pieces and see what types of animals and plants the dinosaur ate.
Definitely it's something very smelly because this is pretty foul.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to have to put on some, mask and gloves and stuff. Kate, can you hand me that bucket over there?
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, gross.
The things we do in the name of science. I hope you appreciate these samples, Nicole.
Oh, I do.
Okay, so before we actually go and put on our rubber gloves, this is the Weird But True show, and we always ask our guests to give us 1 or 2 weird but true facts about what they do. Can you tell us your weird but true facts?
Coprolites sometimes have snails inside. Sometimes this is because the dinosaur ate the snails, but other times it's because the snails were eating the poop.
Nicole, is that so are these fancy French dinosaurs that eat escargot? Is that what's going on?
Well, snail shells have calcium in them, and dinosaurs sometimes ate them because the calcium helps them build the shells of their eggs that they laid.
Huh, that is really, really interesting. See, I've always skipped the shell, and now I feel like that may be the best part. Maybe the dinos were onto something.
But we don't lay eggs.
Very true, Nicole, very true. This is why you are the scientist. So what is your weird but true number 2? Get it, Kate?
You are so funny, Becky.
If you lick a dinosaur bone, it will sometimes stick to your tongue.
What?
Kate, when you were looking at me weird when I was licking those dinosaur bones earlier, I told you that I was onto something, and it was simply a scientific experiment. Please never doubt me again.
I'll try not to. Oh my gosh, that is so totally weird.
So the inside of bones it's got a very spongy texture. And so like a sponge, it sucks up moisture. So when you lick it, the bone sucks up the moisture from your tongue.
Ew!
I got the mask on. I'm holding my nose. Do you think it's time to scoop this poop?
I would say it definitely is. This is going to be totally disgusting. Becky, go get the rubber gloves.
Okay. Nicole, it was so nice talking to you. We're going to get your sample for you.
Listeners, we'll be right back after we hose the time machine off right here on the Weird But True Show.
And now, National Geographic's Weird But True Show presents Nicole Ridgewell, a paleontology expert from South Dakota Mines and Technology.